Hello, today's recipe is from the United Kingdom. Scones, or scones, have their origins in Scotland. From ancient times until the present day, the Scottish have made a round, flat, quick bread called a bannock, which was often cut into quarters for serving. And each one of these quarters was and is called a scone, or a scone. Scone, scone, tomato, tomato. No matter what you call them, scones are a delicious and easy quick bread that require only a few ingredients and a short time to make. Today, I'm making my favorite British scone recipe, lavender scones. For this recipe, you will need 375 grams of self-rising flour, or about 3 cups, 80 grams of butter, chilled and cut into small cubes, or about 6 tablespoons, 45 grams of lavender sugar, or about 3 tablespoons. If you don't have lavender sugar, you can use just plain sugar. You also need 200 milliliters of milk, which is about 7 ounces. Before you start to mix your dough, you will need to preheat your oven to 220 degrees Celsius, or gas mark 7, which is about 428 degrees Fahrenheit in American ovens. Into a large bowl, put in the flour, the chilled cubed butter, and the lavender sugar. Remember, if you don't have lavender sugar, you can use plain white granulated sugar. I always use my fingers to quickly rub the chilled butter, flour, and sugar together, but you can use a pastry blender if you'd like. Once well mixed, the flour should look coarse and crumbly. You can easily tell that you have the right consistency by squeezing the flour mixture. If it holds together and then easily crumbles apart, then you have it mixed together right. Next, add your milk all at once, and then quickly mix it with the dry ingredients to make a soft dough. You can use a wooden spoon or silicone spatula like I am. The dough should come together in about 30 or 45 seconds. I'm showing you the mixing of the dough in real time, and in the video I mixed the dough for about 43 seconds. You just want the dough to come together into a single mass, making sure your dry and wet ingredients come together. It won't be smooth and perfect, and that's fine. The key to mixing this dough is not to overmix it, because this causes too much gluten to be formed in the dough, which results in a tough and dry scone after baking. The ideal dough is soft and sticky. You can see how it all comes together into a lumpy, shaggy dough ball. At this point, this is what you want the dough to look like. A soft, sticky, lumpy blob of a dough ball. Perfect. Set your dough aside for a moment and get your pan ready. Take an ungreased baking sheet and line it with a piece of parchment paper, or as I'm doing, a silicone pan liner like a silpat. I often just shape the dough right on the silpat, but you can take an 8-inch round or square non-stick pan to quickly shape the dough without overhandling it. Pat the dough into the pan, handling it as little and as quick as possible, then flip it out onto the prepared cooking sheet. The dough should be about 1.5 inches to 2 inches high. It's really up to you, and it depends on whether you like a thinner or thicker scone. Just try to make sure it's an even thickness all the way around so that you have an evenly baked scone. Before you bake it, you should score or cut the bread into the serving pieces you want to have, and you can score it any way you like. I usually score it into squares or wedges like I'm doing here. You want to cut almost all the way to the bottom, and if you're doing this directly on your silpat, please use a blunt edge knife. Cut or puncture your silpat, you must throw it away. After it's scored, it's ready to bake, but if you like a crisper outer crust like I do, just give it a quick brush with milk or cream. Brushing the scone with milk or cream helps to brown the crust and also makes for a slightly crisper crust on your scones. After they are brushed with the milk or cream, they're ready to bake in your preheated oven. Bake the scones for about 16 minutes on the middle rack in your oven or until the top is lightly browned. After they have baked for about 16 minutes, turn off the oven and just open the oven door slightly, but leave the scones in the oven on the baking tray for about 10 minutes longer. This will help to make sure that the scones are cooked through to the center without overbaking or burning. And that is all there is to making hot, fresh lavender scones with a beautiful crisp crust. Put your hot scones onto a plate and then cut through your score marks with a knife and serve. Light, delicious, fragrant lavender scones. They're easy to make, and you can use this basic recipe to make any type of scones you like, simply by adding your own touches like dried cranberries or chocolate chips. I love, love, love these scones. This is my favorite recipe for scones. Really simple, just a few ingredients, minimal handling of the dough, and you get a tender, flaky, crumbly scone, really fragrant, lightly sweet, really good, and I hope you try them. Very good.